I'm ready now.
Okay.
What's up, everybody? You're listening to episode 7 of Just Breathing with Laud Lungs. I'm glad to be joined by my wife once again. We do have a couple other guests lined up, so I'm really excited about that. But in the meantime, you're going to listen to a husband and wife talk. Because why not?
Why not?
Why would you not want to listen to a husband and wife talk
I agree.
after they've talked? I think that is one of the things about talking to your wife that's interesting when doing a podcast is that we have a pretty good relationship.
Yeah.
Yes, she said that.
It's recorded.
And we talk. I'm not the greatest talker in the world.
Neither am I.
And neither are you. But we do it enough that we kind of have all of the conversations out of the way. So when we sit down to do this podcast, we're like, what else is there?
There's always more to talk about.
There's always more to talk about. And that's why I like doing it, because it's for all the talking we do, it's usually over screaming children. It's usually with other things going on. We're doing other work, whatever's going on around our house.
Survival talk.
Yeah. That's mostly what it is. Calendars, a lot of calendars, schedule, child rearing, church. That's about it.
Yep.
That's about it. But that's all you need to get through.
Yeah.
So, but we do talk a lot about politics at home. We do talk a lot about culture at home, kind of what's going on in our culture. And one of the interesting things that happened recently, and I'm sure everybody listening to this already knows of the Cuties documentary. And so we just recently canceled our Netflix subscription.
Yes.
Predominantly, it was due to this documentary, just because it was too far.
Yep.
There was a lot of kind of back and forth on, was this really child exploitation? Because I don't know if you know this, but the director, the French director, came back and was like, this film is outlining like the problems with exploiting kids and how kids are earlier and earlier getting exposed to all of this stuff online, and they're trying to copy it, and they feel kind of unworthy and not able to live up to the hype of all this stuff.
Why did he make it like that?
Was a she.
She.
Yeah. That's the question that hasn't really been answered. And that's kind of what led to us canceling our Netflix subscription. Some of it's too, we just don't watch a lot of TV.
Yeah, we don't watch a lot.
Which I'm very thankful for. And that's kind of been a change probably in the past year.
Yeah.
Or so. But yeah, that was kind of the last straw for me. I'm like, well, I haven't been watching this too much. I mean, there's like my kids' cartoons on there.
Right. But we don't even let them watch as much TV now.
No, because they are crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know if any other parent listening to this has ever dealt with this, but when you let a child, and we have 3, so we have 3 examples, so it's a large sample size, watch TV for an extended period of time and then try to instruct them to do something, they're like, or you just shut off the TV.
Yeah.
You don't even say, go do this. Just shut off the TV. Things come out of them that I've never seen before.
Like rolling on the ground, whining.
Rage that this screen was disaffected from their life. And it's crazy. But I'm glad, honestly, to be rid of it. There wasn't a lot of good stuff coming out.
Yeah.
Of course, there was this new Sherlock show.
Oh, we won't miss it. It'll be fine.
We won't miss it.
We added Spotify.
Right.
Instead, which is much better.
Yeah,
and I'm already using it.
Yeah, we got the Spotify premium. And I don't love Spotify either. I don't like all the practices that, we know as musicians and stuff.
Right.
You put your music on Spotify, you get nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. But that's okay. It's still a good music platform, one of the best out there. And Yeah. So our money went to something we actually used
Right.
and invested it there. But yeah, it is a crazy topic. I've seen so many people going back and forth on this cutie subject, and I never really talked to you about it. Like I said, hey, I'm thinking of canceling Netflix because of, and you're like, yep.
Yeah.
But we didn't even have much of a conversation on it. You were just like, yep, nope.
I had been thinking about canceling for a while because of that movie, but also just because of other things that Netflix was pushing.
Right.
But I actually wanted to ask you if you could tell a little bit about what the movie is about, because I saw on my phone like someone talking about it, like explaining, a little bit more, but I didn't have a chance to watch it yet. So I actually don't know that much about the movie except what you just said.
Yeah.
And so
I haven't watched the movie.
Well, yes, of course.
Because why would you put yourself through that?
No.
You know what I mean?
I didn't expect that you watched it, but did you listen to some?
That's the issue. There was a lot of people that I listen to podcasts all day. I listen to a lot of YouTubers. So I know kind of a large swath of people that have either tried to watch it, talked to people who have watched it,
right,
and just kind of express their opinions on it. So I'm not coming on firsthand knowledge, but basically just a quick synopsis of what this movie's about. Apparently it's about a group of 11-year-old girls who enter some sort of twerking competition in order to get somewhere in life. I don't know what their goal is. I don't really know all the details to that, but it's weird.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I don't have Twitter because, like I say all the time, it's a dumpster fire. Why would you be
right?
Why would you jump into that? But I know a lot of people, both sides of the political aisle. This was not it did get political, sadly.
That movie
got political.
What?
Yeah.
Oh,
well,
boy.
It's so silly because
how?
Because everything's political nowadays, and we can't separate ourselves from stupid politics. But at the very beginning, there was people on both sides of the political aisle that were sharing clips of this video like, it's worse than we thought.
Right.
Because originally the poster came out for the movie, and people were like, no. No. What is this?
Oh my goodness.
Because it was a bunch of 11-year-old girls in tight-fitting shorts,
right,
looking sensual.
Yeah.
And people were like, "Are you kidding me?"
Right. Why are we doing this?
Right. Why is this a thing? And why are you promoting it?
Yeah.
That was the weirdest thing to me, is that I guess it won a Sundance Award. So I don't know how Netflix works. I don't know how the movie industry works, but somehow it was kind of pushed up as this acclaimed film.
Yeah.
So
I feel like I'm going to have to educate myself more now, because before this movie came out, there was another, I don't know if it was a movie or like a short show series.
Oh, a cartoon
that came out.
Yeah.
And
I've heard people talk about that too. I don't remember the name though.
Yeah, I don't either. That's why I'm like, I can't help much here. But there were a few other things that came out that I was like not feeling good about.
Yeah.
And then this one, and yeah. So, but I don't know any of the names of these things, so I have to look it up.
Yeah, it's a really scary thing to tread, or a path to tread, because, and I'm trying to formulate kind of my thoughts on this as we go, because I don't want to be some prude.
Right.
I don't want to ever push that on someone else.
Right.
I might know what works best for me.
Right.
And I'm definitely going to talk about that. We've talked about pornography in a previous podcast, so I know that is a path that is not healthy.
Yeah.
For me.
For anyone.
For anyone. But again, I'm not going to push that on someone else.
Right.
I'm going to talk about what's worked in my life. And if that helps somebody, great.
Right.
Right. And that's the thing with the stuff that's happening right now. We've been calling sex art for a long time. And you just wonder, as things get weirder, as lines start to blur in terms of, I mean, right now we have a lot of issues surrounding gender. We have a lot of issues surrounding what is sex.
Right.
There's all of these conversations going on right now, and it's leading down, sadly, this weird path.
Yeah.
Where we're entertaining these conversations.
Yeah.
We're entertaining these artistic forms instead of just squashing them and saying, no, you can't do that.
Yeah.
You can't do that. We shouldn't even entertain
Right.
the thought. Like, whoever was a person that funded or helped with the to formulate this idea that this director had
Right.
for this movie.
What else are they doing in their lives?
Well, that's the thing. Like, what? Because
where else are you making money?
Right. There's nothing wrong with putting out I am so for a message of reaching young people and saying, be careful.
Right.
Be careful. And I think and we also canceled before we got to watch that one movie, The Social Dilemma.
Oh yeah.
So we haven't seen that one, but I've also heard a ton of people talking about that. And that's basically talking about the way that social media is affecting our minds and affecting the people, especially young people.
Right.
And that's what this director claims her movie was supposed to be sort of directed at. I don't think it was made for young people to watch. I think it was made for adults to watch so that they could inform their kids, their cousins, their nieces, their nephews, and say, hey, there's some problems out here. Be careful. You know, don't look at the Instagram model.
Right.
Who is fake.
Right.
You know, and think that that's reality. You know.
Yeah.
Don't try to be that. So I like the intention.
Yeah, it sounds very
But
odd
if
to
we
me.
can't have like honest conversations with people and say, hey, I love your intentions.
Right.
But your actions are hindering your intentions.
There's better ways to go about it.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And I'm going to do a hard turn right now, but it's the same thing with the racial stuff right now. There's a lot of perfect intentions behind many of the people that are pushing this Black Lives Matter agenda. And I'm not talking about the organization. I have some issues with the organization itself, but the premise of do Black Lives Matter, everyone obviously knows they do.
Right.
I don't think even that is the main issue. I think people that have really thought this through more thoroughly realize that there's a lot of financial, there's a lot of social discrepancies that don't exist in some of these Black and Hispanic and minority communities and white minority communities.
Right.
You know, poor white communities. And they have a message that is intentionally good. But their actions, we can't seem to come together and say, that's not the way to do it. You know, because we agree with someone's intentions, we stay quiet about their actions. And I think that's harmful because then their intentions aren't gaining the traction that I think they should gain.
Right.
You know what I mean? We should talk about race more. We should, not how racist we are, because that's putting a label.
Right.
See, there's a difference between talking about racism, talking about some issues that have existed in our past that might influence our future. And I think those are great conversations to have. But if we focus, there's a difference between placing a label on people, placing a label on a country for failures in its past.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay. But yeah, so again, getting back to my point about intentions, if we don't call out things like rioting, if we don't call out things like looting, because we agree with their intentions, some of their intentions, we're hurting any action that could be done in the name of those intentions. You know? And that's what saddens me the most with the race thing. That's what saddens me the most with people that want young people to know the dangers that are out there.
Right. Right.
You know? I mean, you're not on social media, but did you ever experience any of that growing up? I mean, I guess you had some TV, you had some
experience. Like, wait, what do you mean?
Kind of so right now, kids are flooded with all of these Instagram models.
Oh,
they're flooded with.
Oh, no.
So you didn't experience any of that?
No.
Wow. Yeah.
Well, I wasn't on a lot on Facebook when I was young either.
Yeah.
So, yeah. None of that.
Yeah. I mean, you're lucky. And that's the thing. Okay, again, back to the point of good intentions. You never experienced that. I'm guessing there's a huge group of people in our country that are in the same boat as you that were right before sort of the blow up of social media, the blow up of, all of that mediums and stuff. So they don't really, that group of people, including yourself, might not truly understand how to warn the next generation.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I think it's good for people that maybe are in that more often, that are on social media all the time and are like, man, this ruined my life. I need to tell somebody about it.
Right. Right.
So I think it's good. It just saddens me the way that this movie in particular, there's not a huge swath of movies that, well, there's a couple, but that have gone down this path of really exploiting children. And yeah.
Well, I mean, all media, if we're going back to that subject, all media and magazines and TV, has been pushing in that direction.
Yeah.
They have been.
Well, that's what I said about...
It's just that particular movie just seems a lot more like blunt.
Right.
But, media is always trying to sexualize just youth.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's true. I haven't really...
And
really
young girls don't question that.
Mm.
That seems normal.
Mm.
To be beautiful is to be thin and scantily clad because that gets you attention. That seems good.
Mm. Right.
And that is the normal.
Right.
That's what you see out in real life. That's what you see too. So,
well, and you'll have,
so to continue walking down that path almost seems natural.
And you're right. It has, even in our lifetime, like definitely, I think in the 80s, because I've watched a lot of, when we had Netflix, there was like these documentaries on like the 60s, the 70s, the 80s and things like that. And it's fun because I didn't go through it. I didn't experience it. So it's some history, mostly like culture.
Right.
So it was really interesting. It just goes to show that culture moves so fast.
Oh yeah.
So if you think you're hip now, you're already not. So I'm not even going to try. I'm just going to find clothes that are comfy.
I don't think I've ever been hip.
You've always had a style. Though.
I think even now, like I've actually started to develop what I really like.
Right. But I think that's
and
great.
That will be my own hip.
But I think that's
I'm
great.
Good with that.
That's probably those old people that. It's probably those old people that have like the old guys that have like the plaid pants that we made fun of. But they're like, you know what? These are the comfiest.
Right.
They're not wearing jeans.
Right.
They're wearing these cloth.
As long as they feel like comfortable and feel good, that's good.
They're probably so loose in there, so comfy. But they found their style and then they just were like, don't care.
Yep.
Don't care if I've worn this for the past 50 years. Like your pup-up.
He's awesome. He saves lots of money on clothes.
Yeah, he does. What was the story of his driver's license?
So he has had, I know it's at least 2, but I'm pretty sure it could be 3 or 4. But I don't want to exaggerate. But I know it was at least 2, but it could be up to 4 where he wore the same exact shirt. And then after he realized that had happened, then he was like, this is awesome.
Oh,
And he was like
he would
trying
do that.
to make it happen.
You would do that. We're the same. Oh gosh.
But we were laughing the one time because, he was like, look at this, guys. And he's showing us that his new one was the same as his old one. He's like, I didn't even try to do that.
And he has the same barber, and he has the same.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty
So
much
just
everything.
a quick funny story about my pup-up, who I love so much. During this whole pandemic, he let his hair grow and grow, and I offered to cut it for him, and he was like, oh no, I'm going to go back to my barber. I'm going to make him work for his money. He was like totally didn't care. He didn't care that it was long.
I love that though.
It's just great. That was so great.
He had some long hair too.
Yeah,
he let that grow. I didn't know what was going on at that one birthday party. Whoa. He had some sideburns, to say the
It was
least.
so bad.
And if you don't know, he has all white hair. So he had these bushy chops. Like, they weren't full mutton chops,
They were pretty close.
but they were getting there. They were getting there. It was pretty epic.
He did
though.
not care at all. That's what I love about him.
No, but it was like full quarantine hair, though.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I mad respect, for
yeah.
that.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, that's so great. I love that.
Oh, my goodness.
I love that. I don't have I'm too serious about that type of stuff. Like, I feel like I would go into the driver's license thing and think about what I was wearing, but for the picture.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I wouldn't think about it for the comic relief that would happen afterwards,
Right.
which, when was the last time you looked at your driver's license?
No one
Who
cares. No one cares. Even though it is funny that I feel like every driver's license picture that I get, I purposely try to look nice and it always fails. I'm like, how does this fail every single time? Like, this is once in every, 6 years or something?
Yeah.
And it looks bad every time.
Well, I always get the same guy when I go.
Oh,
And there's
really?
it's kind of weird. And it's the one in Shillington. So I go to the same center, and there's this guy, he's disabled. He's in a wheelchair. It's a perfect job for him. 'Cause
Right.
He's just sitting there
Right.
taking pictures, chatting with people.
Yeah.
It's awesome. We were talking about, I think I had like a Flash, like a Marvel.
Oh, I remember you
superhero.
telling me about this.
Yeah, I had that shirt on for the picture, and I come in there and he just starts talking to me about Marvel.
Yeah.
And what my favorite superhero
It's
is.
a great
and
conversation starter.
It was cool. But he was talking to me. Well, first off, he was talking to me while he was about to take the picture. So I'm like, I'm like trying to make sure I smile when the picture's about to be taken
Right.
and not talking.
Right. But you don't want to be rude either.
Yeah. And then afterwards, so this is the DMV. And this is pre-pandemic, busy DMV.
Right.
And there's a line of people waiting to get their picture taken.
No.
And he just keeps talking.
Oh, no.
He just keeps talking. And he was awesome.
Right.
I loved talking to him. But then I started getting anxious and my heart started going because I'm
all
just
these people are waiting.
oh, yeah. Yeah. Cause then I had tons of people behind me and I'm
Yeah.
like, I hope they don't kill me because they only see me. They don't see him.
Yeah. What is he doing up there?
Yeah. So, but yeah, I don't think about that. And maybe that comes with age, how old people, they do, they just give less of a crap.
It's true. No, even I know, and I'm not old,
Yeah.
that I care less about certain things than I did before.
True. Yeah, that's true.
And I'm sure
I
that will just
definitely-
get worse as I get
definitely
older.
will go to Turkey Hill I think it goes in waves.
That's true. Depending on how you feel.
Because there were definitely some times in college where I don't even know what I was wearing.
right.
When I stepped in 3 a.m. into
Yeah.
a Wawa.
Yeah. That's
You
true.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
There were definitely some late night excursions
Yeah.
where me and my friends were like, let's go to Giant. And it's 1:00 in the morning. And
Wow.
we're walking through Giant in flip flops and maybe basketball shorts.
I never did that.
I don't know what we had on. It was ridiculous. But and then you go through the phase where you're a little more presentable.
Right.
You're an adult,
Yeah.
But
It depends how you feel. That's like college is a time of life where you're tired a lot and you're doing a lot, so you don't really care as much.
Yeah.
And when you're pregnant. When I was pregnant, I didn't care that much.
Yeah. But that's a good excuse.
For the most part, I was so tired. I was like, whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever. I just want to be in bed.
Not a lot has changed.
Okay, that's true.
Yeah. I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, yeah. Well, I'm over 30 now. So it's definitely going.
30.
I'm 30, but I'm over 30. Okay. I've been 30 for a little while.
Okay.
So I feel like that downhill slope has already begun. There's definitely times that I don't care what I look like when I go to Turkey Hill.
Well, Turkey Hill doesn't really matter.
Yeah. Turkey Hill's a little gross.
No one cares at Turkey Hill.
No one cares at Turkey Hill.
Maybe at Target, people will care.
Target, people be like, what style is that?
This is a fancy store.
I haven't been in Target in a long time.
Where did you come from, Walmart?
Wow.
Hey,
wow.
I can say that I shop at Walmart almost every week.
You shop at BB's.
And BB's.
If anyone doesn't know what BB's is, so there's like, I don't know, 2 BB's locations even close to us. We have to go all the way down to Morgantown for ours, which isn't too far.
It's not far from us.
Yeah. But BB's is like, I don't even know what you would call it. It's like a scratch and dent place.
Don't give away.
Maybe I shouldn't talk about this. Do not listen to this.
Cut that out of the video.
Yeah.
No, it's a scratch and dent store.
Right.
And it
but
is
a little
amazing.
better though.
It is, but you still have to be careful. Like you have to take your time, and if you're like finicky about certain things, then maybe you shouldn't shop there. Yeah. But I love it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's fed us.
It has fed us.
So
year after year.
We would not eat as well as we do.
No, we would not have
BB's.
extra snacks in the pantry.
Yeah.
Without BB's.
Yeah. Just to like paint a picture for people. Maybe I shouldn't be doing this, but you'll go to Giant and you'll buy something and list price will be like $3.
Mm-hmm.
You go to BB's, list price is like 75 cents.
Yep. 75 cents.
Yeah. I mean, easily. Yeah. It is crazy.
It's amazing.
Now, sometimes you have to dig, but sometimes you don't.
Yeah.
Sometimes it depends on the item.
Right.
And for us, like I have to eat gluten-free.
That is what is so helpful.
Yeah.
BB's for.
Yeah, there's a ton of gluten-free stuff.
Or sometimes there's not, but anything that's there, I'll most likely buy that's gluten-free because it's like 1/4 of the price.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't feel bad if we eat it and we're like, this is horrible.
Right.
We just throw it out. Yeah.
And then we know not to spend $3 at the real store.
Right.
For that same thing that we're going to throw away.
Yeah. Oh, BB's. But yeah, you're definitely not disparaging of discount stores.
Yes.
Definitely not. Definitely not.
And I've gone into Walmart looking pretty drab. Yeah. So.
Yeah. I think we all have. I think most of the workers have.
Oh, but I love Walmart. Sometimes I go into Walmart and I'm like trying to get service. And we all know how that can go sometimes. And I'm like, I tell myself, that is why I'm here. I am here to get the prices.
Right.
I am not here to experience quality service.
Nope.
And so I'm okay with it. I'm okay with waiting in long lines. I'm okay with, not getting the help I need because I'm like, this is worth it. It is worth it.
Yeah.
For the price that I pay. So, okay.
Yeah.
I'm not bashing Walmart. I love Walmart.
I love Walmart too. All right.
I know something we can talk about.
What?
So last week, I read something in the Bible, and it was.
Look at you.
Oh, I'm so amazing. And I just want to talk about it because I thought it was really, really cool. It was in Leviticus, I think.
Okay.
Or Numbers. Sorry, this isn't very helpful. But it was talking about. So God was speaking to the Israelites and that he was telling them that for the tabernacle, they were to no longer sacrifice anywhere else except for at their tabernacle.
Like outside the camp. Or,
right.
Yeah.
And that they weren't supposed to sacrifice to any other gods and all of this stuff. And and then he also said that they were supposed to sacrifice it at the tabernacle as a peace offering.
Okay.
And so that might not sound very significant to you, but it stood out to me because I was like, okay, this is interesting. The people were sacrificing to, I guess, other things or other gods, or they weren't doing it correctly. And God was saying, don't do that. So I was like, okay, so to our lives today, we as Christians or non-believers, whoever we are making sacrifices. We are beings of worship made to worship. Mm-hmm. So we are going to be worshiping something, whether it's the true God or it's something else. And we are making sacrifices daily to whatever it is that is at the top. And so then, okay, so that was interesting to me. And then I read a little bit deeper to what is a peace offering. Mm-hmm. And a peace offering is something that ensures your communion or like close communication with God. Okay. And I was like, oh, wow. Yeah. So God wasn't just saying like, I don't want you sacrificing to anyone else, which he was also saying that. But the reason he wanted them to bring it to the tabernacle to sacrifice it as a peace offering was because he wanted them to be closer to him. Because that peace offering means close communion. It ensures close communion with God. And I was just like, oh, wow.
That's cool.
So like if you don't serve God, are wasting your sacrifices. And if you do serve God and you are begrudgingly, is that the right word? Begrudgingly sacrificing or unwilling, like holding back, you're still sacrificing to something else.
Yeah.
But if you actually sacrifice to the Lord and if you worship the Lord, you're going to draw closer to him in communion with him.
Right.
Which is the most amazing thing. And I don't know. I was just like, let's talk about that because that was so cool to me.
Well, and I think that's been the neatest part about kind of reading through those books again. And I think we talked about this a little bit with Sabbath in the last podcast, rest days. But yeah, reading through Leviticus, and I think that's where that was. I think it was still in Leviticus. But I've really been able to glean, because there's some weird stuff in Leviticus. There's some stuff that I don't understand. I don't understand the ritual process, mostly because I don't have to do it anymore.
Right, hallelujah.
I mean, thank God through Jesus, he paid the ultimate sacrifice, so I don't have to cut a lamb's throat anymore. Because I don't think I could do that.
Hallelujah.
My goodness. Maybe I could. I don't know. I don't want to.
If you're hungry enough.
If I was hungry enough. But yeah, I definitely have been gleaning a lot more about God's character this time around. And like the Old Testament is always seen as God is sort of aloof and he's not as relational. And he seems judgmental and he seems like a totally different God than the God that we see through Jesus, and I'm not seeing that this time around. Yes. I'm seeing more and more examples of a God that wants to draw people to himself. And he's jealous for that affection because in like literally the previous section or the previous chapter, he just did this amazing thing for them.
Right.
He's jealous for their affection because he's the provider.
Right.
And so if you look at like, man, God's kind of, a jerk right here. It's like, no.
Right.
No, he's not a jerk because he literally just saved them from this disease. He saved them from this army that was coming against them. He saved them from starvation. He saved them from thirst. Whatever it is, he would provide, sometimes seemingly begrudgingly.
Right.
To bring that word back, because he's so pissed off at their complaining.
Right.
But he always provides, and all he asks in return is that they be close to him.
Yeah. Just trust me.
Trust me. Sacrifice to me within my tabernacle where I am.
Right.
And that's such a powerful thing because he's like, I'm here for you.
Right.
I want to be here for you. Why do you keep going off and doing your own thing? Why do you keep going off far away from me? I'm trying to dwell with you.
Right.
And you want to go.
Right.
You want to go back into slavery. You want to go back to Egypt. Why?
Right.
And you're right. That narrative of just God wanting to be close to his people is really shining through this time of reading through Leviticus and in Numbers.
Yeah.
Our recent chapters and stuff. But yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
That is cool. It's cool to see past the things that you don't understand, to see the heart of them.
Yes.
And I think that's the key to the Bible. A lot of people kind of give up on the Old Testament because it's hard.
Right.
It's not the easiest book. And that's like, honestly, that's the benefit of a church, especially if you can be in like a group of people that are talking about it.
And reading through it together.
And are reading through it together. That's that's the number one thing, because I've gained so much from that, just this past year from doing that. And I've read through the Old Testament multiple times, but I have never gained as much as I've gained about the heart of God as I've gained from listening to other people. Because, see, this is the thing that a lot of people don't understand about church. And if you don't go to church, but you say you're spiritual or you're a Christian or whatever, I'm going to say something that I think is beneficial to your life. And that is, we need other people to see not only for our own good, to see our blind spots so that we can grow. But we also need it to see other aspects of God through his word. We need in worship and in reading of his word for other people to paint a picture of God that maybe we've never seen before. This passage spoke to me in this way, and I really was able to see God like this. And we're like, whoa. Whoa. I've never seen God in that way before. We don't get to see him in this life face to face. Like Moses did. But we can definitely get a good picture of him in community with other people as they,
That's so true.
As they talk about how they have experienced God. We can be like, wow, he's like that.
Right.
Wow, he's like that. He cares for me in that way. Like it's a pretty powerful thing.
And to encourage people too, like when you read through the Bible, the first, like every time you read through it, it's different.
Yeah.
Like, and every time you read through it, at least in my experience, there has been like a different theme. So like last year when I read through the Bible, I saw the love of God and more of the character of God in the Old Testament. And now this time reading it through, I'm seeing like how Jesus is like so in this.
Yeah.
Like I'm seeing the connections to Jesus. I'm like, oh my goodness, this is so much more clear than it's ever been.
Yeah.
And then to go back to the first time I ever read through the Bible, I'm just like picking through it like, oh my goodness, all of these rules and all these sacrifices. And I'd ask my dad questions and I'd be like, why in the world did God do this? Or why in the world did God allow this? And so just to encourage people, like you just keep doing it and you just keep learning.
Yeah.
And like, you just have to do that. Like the first couple times through the Old Testament, they are kind of rough because you're just like, it's almost overwhelming.
Yeah.
Because you're like, there's so much crap that happens. Yeah. But yeah, it's really cool reading through it with people.
I agree.
Doing it at the same time.
Yep.
That's so awesome.
Well, I don't want to do too long of a podcast, so I'm going to kind of wrap it up. To bring it back to the intentionality aspect that we were talking about at the beginning, there is an intentionality that is really required when reading any religious text, but in reading the Bible, because Christians really believe that the word of God is God breathed or inspired by God. So man wrote it, but God inspired it. And I believe that, you believe that. you cannot believe that if you're listening to it, and that's fine. Read it, and then that's, you decide. But do it intentionally.
Right.
Like I've had a lot of people read the Bible, like people that have been my friends that aren't Christians, but there wasn't a lot of intentionality. They were reading it to either debunk it, or they were reading it to gain some sort of philosophical insight. And you definitely can.
Right.
There's a lot of great life lessons, philosophical lessons in there. I mean, listen to any of Jordan Peterson's lectures on the Bible. Like he was going through all the Old Testament books and stuff, and really unpacking them. And I mean, it was really good, but it was really uninspired.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense. Like I've gained so much deeper understanding of those passages than he could ever teach me in a 2-hour lecture.
Yep.
And so there's something to that, but be intentional in doing that. Just like, and to bring it full circle back to the beginning of the podcast with our intentions for whatever thing that we're trying to go towards in our lives, be intentional, and look at the way that your actions are dictating those intentions. Make sure that they are focused on benefiting yourself and benefiting those around you, and benefiting the world, in those intentions. But let's wrap it up here. All right. So thank you guys for listening to this podcast. This was episode 7. We're getting there.
Yeah.
We're getting there. 7 deep. That's not bad. But like I said, we're going to have some more guests in the coming weeks that I'm really excited about. If you have any questions, you can always leave them in the comments on social media. You can leave them in the YouTube comments. You can direct message. I couldn't remember the term. You can send us a direct message. We'll try to get back to you. Whatever your thoughts are. If you have questions, if you have topics you want us to talk about, I'm good with that. I don't really have a plan for this podcast. It's really just, I want to have good conversations with people that I enjoy.
Right.
So I don't want this to become some educational podcast. I want it to be free. I want it to be real. I want it to be authentic. If you hate that word, I'm sorry. It's a good word. And that's our intent. But make sure you share this. Make sure you like this. Make sure you heart it if you're on Instagram or wherever you're looking at this. But yeah, so have a great rest of your week. All right, bye.